My son had a full-blown asthma attack. It came out of nowhere.
The unsettling thing about some symptoms is
I had a fever and these terrible headaches.
you don't always know what's causing them.
It was Lyme disease from a tick bite.
I had Zika virus from a mosquito.
He had a reaction to cockroach allergens.
Threats to your health can come from unexpected places. Get the facts. Visit pestworld.org. A public service message from the National Pest Management Association.
WGSX Lynn Haven, WVLQ Port St. Joe. Powered by Panama City Toyota. ESPN Northwest Florida. Rise and shine, campers. It's a brand new day.
What a lovely morning.
Good morning, Starshine.
You seem happy this morning.
Morning, everybody. Thanks for coming in early.
The Coach James Hale Show is live and local. Live from the J. Michaels Studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And sitting in for Coach Hale on this Friday is our friend and co-host, Coach Glenn Manley.
Oh, there you go.
Hot tub! I'm full of water! I say hot tub! Hot! Stay bang! Very hot!
All right, guys, wake them up.
Gonna get you hot tub!
Hot tub!
Make it wet!
Yeah.
Say hot tub!
Hot tub!
Rub in the hot tub! Rub it up with me! Check in the hot tub!
Yeah!
Will it make me sweat?
Yeah!
Check in the hot tub!
Yeah!
Will it make me wet?
Well, good morning. As you well know, it's Coach James Hale Show. He is absent. And, the wild Kingdom guy got bit by a wild animal. So if you go on Facebook.
We'll talk more about that later.
We'll talk about that later.
Oh, my God, it's a classic.
But, I'm Coach Manley. I'm the substitute for the substitute.
Substitute teacher.
So, yeah, everybody just throw your books and take off. So I'll get you a hall pass and you're out of here. So, and we got Coach Jim Moran here, my buddy over there. I coached against him, and he did a great job. And we used to call each other names all the time. So.
That's all right.
And
we know better now.
Yes, we do. TK Vandy, there you go. Oh, Kyle.
Yes, sir.
Yep, we know each other from way back. So you and your riding on the float, getting killed on the float when he's the kicker. So
I was his favorite. I wasn't his best kicker I ever had, but I was his favorite.
I bet.
he's the one that got. He was the one that got hurt the most. What was it, Milton? You went down over there.
You mean Doug wasn't your favorite kicker? Yeah, I recovered the onside kick.
And he stayed there. I was going.
Doug kicked the Tamron Van over. I remember
and
that.
And of course, another Bay High athlete, a quarterback and basketball player. That's Mr. Kovaleski.
Hey, how y'all doing today?
Good. Tell us a little bit about your business before we get started.
Yeah, we're over at Max Fit Sports Nutrition on 23rd Street and in Pier Park North. We got a lot of people coming in for New Year's, a lot of athletes, a lot of moms and dads that just want to lose some weight and get in shape for beach season. So we have a free sample bar at both locations. We got certified sports nutritionists on staff, and we have our InBody 570 to track results. So come down. We got 15% off for all new customers. So you can come down, purchase everything you need, and get your 15% off.
I tell you what, I love the joint boost and the vitamins in that
BPC 157. Yeah, peptides. I'm on that too. So I got to get another.
Tell us a little bit about the roofing company and the construction company. I want to ask you a question. Do y'all do wind mitigation?
Yes, sir. We can take care of that.
I need to talk to you after the show. Then.
Yeah, wind mitigation is the thing that insurance companies require. It actually gives you a discount on your insurance. There's a few things that they got to check off in regards to making sure you got hurricane straps and things like that. But yeah, you can give us a shout, especially if you get one of those letters from the insurance company talking about, they're going to drop you because of the age of your roof. We can help you out there, get you a good price. We can do all sorts of roofing, whatever you got, we can do. We don't just do residential, we do a lot of other things too.
Y'all did some plumbing for me and everything. I tell you, one of the things too, that roof deal, I tell you what, now that's like saying, okay, your plumbing has to be removed. So that's the next step, I guess, if it's too old, so who knows. But let's get in a little sports. I want to talk about the Vanderbilt, not the Vanderbilt, but I forgot TK Vanderbilt. But, we're talking about George Mulligan's 8th George Mulligan tournament, wrestling tournament at Bay at the Cobb Gym today. Weigh-ins are 11, and it starts at around 12:30. It goes all the way
through. Is it a two-day tournament?
Yeah, it is. It goes all the way through to quarterfinals today, and then tomorrow weigh-ins at 7:30, and it goes all the way to the finish.
Is that boys and girls?
Boys and girls, and also
this is the 6th annual?
8th.
8th annual.
And I'm wearing the T-shirt today. I wore the hoodie yesterday, and you can purchase them. the thing about the hoodies, they are sublimated. If you don't know that, the letters and everything are made into the material. There's no stencil, so you can wash it how many times.
It was really quite snappy.
It was
red,
snappy.
white, and blue flag, stars.
Had the flag on it because 250th year of our country. And it's the 50th year of Bay High Wrestling, started by Coach Mulligan.
So are the Deedens helping run that? Since it's at Bay High?
Yeah, it's all the teams. Well, just Bay High basically runs it.
Okay.
But all the teams around this within the listening area are in it, and then Fort Pierce Central, who won it last year, are coming back.
So Bear Siegel will be there.
Bear Siegel will be there. Yes.
Okay.
The Bear of Bahrain.
That's right.
And then on Sunday they have youth wrestling. It's IO Florida thing run by Bay High. It's girls 8 through 14U and it's boys 6 through 14U, and get out there, and that starts at 9:30. So that gives you some more wrestling for the weekend. Great thing to do. And then the other thing, if you can't make it to that tonight, be sure to make it tomorrow. But tonight over at Gulf Coast, Bay is playing Rutherford in the basketball game, and so get out there and enjoy that.
Big rivalry.
So, big rivalry.
And they're playing at Gulf Coast?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Bay High's home team. Yeah, Gulf Coast allowed us to do that because of the wrestling tournament.
Oh, okay.
And so,
there you go.
so we always had the third weekend of January, it's the wrestling tournament. We did it for about 25 years before we had a little break, and then we started back. So congratulations to them. And while we're talking local, you want to talk a little bit about the Arnold soccer team?
Yeah, absolutely. So on Fridays, we've got a quick little segment that we do. It's called Chasing the Three-Peat with Arnold Soccer. And so last night, they were in the semifinals of the district playoffs, and they beat Leon 8-0. So they basically, I think they call it, it's not a run rule. I think they call it a
mercy rule?
Yeah, it's a mercy rule is what they call it. But that gives Coach Jonah Hammond and the Arnold Marlins boys soccer 74-0. 74 wins in a row at the Abyss, which is what they call the soccer field.
Now, are they rated number one in the nation?
They're not rated number one in the nation. Right now, they're rated number 4. Number 1 in the state, but number 4 in the nation right now. So their next game is going to be against Lincoln, and that's going to be on the 27th for the district championship. So presumably,
where's that going to be played?
Obviously, they're favored. This is going to be at Arnold because they have home field advantage.
Okay.
They're number 1 seed.
Yeah,
75-0.
So, 75-0. So, and if you think about it, just really think about that. That's since 2019, before COVID. Wow. So they haven't lost a game there since before COVID. That's a record I don't think we'll ever see again.
That's impressive.
Coach Hammond. So we want to give a shout out to Clint Wizard, senior striker. He's such a great athlete. He had a hat trick in that game, 3 goals.
Wow!
And just an amazing athlete. Him, DeMarco Perez, Deshaun Page, all those guys. As far as seniors goes on that team, they're pretty well balanced with next man up. They only have I think 5 seniors.
So he's becoming the IMG of the soccer.
So there has been not only people move in whose kids are athletes and go, where's the best? If you want to play with the best, where do you go? They go to Arnold.
Yeah.
Right? Not only that, there's kids from other countries that are getting visas, school visas to come and play at this national elite program.
Now it's happening in basketball, but let's say, can they graduate and go play Major League Soccer and come back and play for Arnold? Can you do that?
With your 2 years of eligibility, like Alabama's guard or whatever? Yeah. I just played in the pros in the Europe. Right. It wasn't the NBA. It wasn't the NBA.
Well, look, some more soccer scores last night. It was Wakulla 5, Bay High 0, or nil, if you want to say it. And then in the girls' soccer, it was Mosley 6.
Mosley won.
Yep. Mosley's girls 6 and Leon 1. It was North Bay Haven 6, Swanee 1. It was Taylor County 4, Port St. Joe 0. It was South Walton 8 and Walton 0. And it was Catholic 6, Freeport 0, and Rutherford had to travel all the way to Florida Highway. They were beat 9-0, and then it was Mariana was beaten by McClay a 3-0. So, and then boys basketball last night, it was Bluntstown 58, Sneads 42. It was Malone 60, Vernon 18. It was South Walton 60, Mosley 53. So Mosley had won 4 or 5 in a row. So they, Coach Green and them took a little bit on the chin, but South Walton's good and it's hard to play over
Is that
there.
where Coach Anderson is, South Walton?
He is at Milton.
Oh, okay.
So he's moved over to Milton. There, I think they're undefeated.
Nice.
So anyway, and then it was Rocky Bayou 56, Walton 44, Graceville 54, good for them, and Holmes County 47. It was Crestview 57, Niceville 29. It was Port St. Joe 84, FAMU 77. Right.
We'll be talking to Coach Lowe here in the next segment.
Yeah, we'll be talking to him a little bit. Later on, we'll get into a little thing. I noticed last night, our buddy from mine from Tennessee, who coaches high school football, sent me a thing that the Florida legislature has passed a bill by the House of Representatives, bill number 738, and the Senate bill number 538. It is, they passed a vote, they're going to do this in March, about raising salaries for football, all coaches.
Yeah.
And so they had a real long article about how much more of a stipend they would get if they're not, if you're an administrator like we do in our football, to get administrative pay.
That's a good thing.
Yeah. So when you look at Georgia, their highest paid football coach is $219,000.
That's crazy.
No classes. And then the lowest one is $89,500.
If you want to coach football, where do you think you want to go?
That's right. So we're losing.
Where do you think my brother is at right now? He left Edgewater, which was a top
team
in
the
state for 5A.
Right.
I mean, they I don't think they won the state championship, but I think they were in the finals this year. And this is, back to back to back. But he left to go to Marietta for a lot more.
And he's the assistant athletic director, right?
Yeah, what they classify him as is the director of football operations. So he doesn't have to worry about any other sport.
Right. That's great.
But football. Nice. So he followed Cam Duke.
Right.
We all know the Duke family. He followed him up to Marietta with 3 other football coaches. And it's amazing what they do in Georgia is the superintendent actually hires the football coach, not the principal.
Wow.
So that right there means they take it pretty serious.
Yeah. Well, when they were doing that, they went up to Valdosta, and a friend of mine was a coach, and they told the principal, he said, you give him everything he wants, because when he goes, you go. Right. That's what the superintendent told him, and so they gave him, they had laptops, and he had a brand new truck and all kind of stuff. And so, and another friend of mine won the state championship in basketball, and they gave him like a $500 stipend for winning.
In Georgia, where they had the facility, where they had the indoor practice facility, it was like $30 million, 2 football fields, one practice.
I think it was Gainesville.
Yeah,
Gainesville,
it was.
Georgia.
Yeah, Gainesville is
you brought that
number
to the
1
show.
team in the state up there. They're the ones that
was incredible.
Powerhouse.
I've never seen a high school facility, even in Texas, that looked like that.
Yeah. So they do take it serious, but they don't teach class.
No,
that's what they do, and I don't think the coordinators do either. But you go to win, and then you.
I think it's a good thing. If you want somebody to be the best at coaching football, let them coach football, Right. I mean, if they want to coach class, I don't mind that. Give them some weightlifting classes or something. But
most of the coaches here...
it takes so much time to coach football, and develop.
It's a year-round thing.
Yeah. I mean,
well, you work just as much as soon as the bell rings at 3 o'clock.
Right.
You're working just as much like a full day from 3 o'clock on to 10 o'clock that night.
And you don't get those 3 months off in the summer. That's where you put in a lot of work with the team and off-season workouts, weightlifting.
When the job that pays you 15% of your salary takes up 95% of your time.
Right.
Well, when you break it down into, the typical work week, they say is 2,080 hours, or typical work year is 2,080 hours. When you're a football coach or an athletic director or something like that, you're probably around 3,200 hours a year.
Way more than that.
You never have.
So break that down. What is that? $16 an hour?
No such thing as a day off, by the way. So if you're the head coach, even on weekends you get calls and stuff like that. So we're going to talk about some of our sponsors. We already talked about 2 great ones right here. Also today is Chris Fish at J. Michael's, so be sure and get out there, and they have all kinds of great stuff, so just, you don't have to get the special, but coldest beer in town, and smile on your face, go see our favorite waitress, Carla, and she'll take care of you out there, say we said it. And if you want to go up in Lynn Haven and have a great meal, too, we'll make sure you go by Beef O'Brady's and see Pat
we
and
love
all their
that.
great countries. And this, Now, Wildcat, it's getting close to Valentine's. What are we going to have to do?
I'll tell you what, do what you did. You did that beautiful piece of jewelry, one of a kind, handcrafted right there at David Adamson Designer Jewelry, 830 Highway 77 in Lynn Haven.
Yep, and they will buy your gold and silver. I took some gold up there, and they gave me the top price for it, and, you know, it was well worth it, so get out there.
Yeah, they just fixed my Precisionist watch. That's one of the most accurate watches that's ever been made, and my wife gave it to me about 10 years ago, but I took it up there. It was less than 10 minutes. Wham, bam, got me out of there.
Wow.
It's a great place
I like
to be.
those guys.
And then if you need that yard looking like my yard, you know, a putting green, you want to get out and get Turf Pro, get to Paula Patrick. He's here every Monday and take care of that. So, you know, all those things are going on. And let's see. Now, I want to go back to Jason and see you again because I'm running out of all my supplies. And what I like about your story is try it before you buy it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of products out there that I may like that may be good for me, but that may not fit for what you like. So we like the people to try stuff before they buy it. That way they don't, you know, invest money on something they're never going to use. I see so many people with supplements that are just stacked up in their, you know, kitchen or in a counter somewhere. So come down, try our proteins. We got some of the best proteins, pre-workouts, vitamins, amino acids. I mean, if you're a high school athlete or if you're mom and pop just trying to, you know, lose some weight or just get into shape for beach season, we got a little bit of everything for you. And we have certified sports nutrition on staff so they know what products to fit in.
That's what I like the most. You guys know what you're talking about. It's not
we
like
try.
You go to one of these stores. Okay, Wheels 104.3 ESPN Radio, Coach James Hale Show. We'll be back right after this break, and we'll be talking to the head coach for Port St. Joe basketball.
Coach Lowe.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Sports Blitz.
See, I'm more of an old school mentality. I believe in tradition. I believe in loyalty to a program, to a system, to an organization. Everybody's a flash in the pan, microwave type society now and everything, and they want overnight success.
The Sports Blitz.
Live and local, weekdays, 4 to 6.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida with your Friday's weather. This afternoon and evening there will be a light breeze out of the north-northwest, some clouds and 68. Mostly clouds tonight, a little colder at 56. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy throughout the day with a low chance of rain showers in the evening and a high of 67. About the same at 70 Sunday, and we'll have possible thunderstorms and light showers. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Discover your next adventure at Bill Bird Kia, where the road is yours. Start the new year in a brand new Kia from Bill Bird Kia. And don't miss this limited time offer on the purchase of a stunning new 2025 Kia K4 with sporty style, spirited performance, and 2.9% APR for up to 48 months. Thinking about the iconic Kia Soul, the 2025 model delivers its unmistakable silhouette and massive cargo space. It's the last of its kind. Purchase a new 2025 Kia Soul and get 3.9% APR for up to 60 months. But hurry before it's all gone. You get the perfect balance of comfort, safety, and technology. Bill Bird Kia, the home of the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. Stop by and see us today at 2435 East 15th Street or anytime at BillBirdKiaPanamaCity.com. Offer from Kia Finance America for the purchase of a new 2025 Kia K4 with $22.09 per month per 1,000 financed in 48 months, or a new 2025 Kia Soul with $18.37 per month per 1,000 financed in 60 months. Quantities are limited. Cannot be combined with other finance offers. New vehicles only. Not available on Balloon Finance. With 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty is a Bill Bird Kia warranty. See dealer for complete details. Offer for well-qualified buyers must take delivery from dealer stock through 2226.
Time to live life grand at the new Point Grand Panama City apartment home. Now leasing spacious 2-bedroom apartments at Point Grand, featuring high-end interior and modern amenities like a relaxing pool, 24-hour gym, and on-site pet spa. Pet friendly at Point Grand. No breed restrictions, no weight restrictions. Come on over and tour the brand new Point Grand and bring your buddy. 723 West 19th Street, Panama City. Pop in now. 723 West 19th Street.
It's the Coach James Hale Show.
Go nuts.
Live from the J. Michael Studio on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
That's not the Port St. Joe fight song. But listen, we got
copyrighted. I can't play it.
Okay. But listen, we've got a great coach here. Actually, I think his dad played for Coach Epinette. You said it. I probably called some of his dad's basketball games. But Coach Lowe?
No, Coach. You're what's the story again with your? You played for Coach, or you coached with Coach Quinn, but where?
Yes, sir.
You came from a family of coaches, though.
Right.
Yes, sir. Played for Epinette. My granddad played point guard at Mercer.
Okay,
that's right.
Coached at Woodward Academy. Coached at Eckerd, and then my dad played at Georgia Tech.
Okay. Well, you know, there's always been a Quinn around. I can't remember that. Since the dawn of time, I believe, in Port St. Joe.
There's 4 on coaching staff. He's got a large coaching staff, Coach.
I guess so. If you win that many games, so
he's got good support.
Yeah, Coach. Talk a little bit about your team and what kind of year it's been for you. I'm sure you're probably chasing the ghost of Epinette, who won quite a few.
Oh man, what Epinette did was remarkable. I'm not sure it can ever be repeated, especially in the landscape of high school basketball where it's at right now, with private schools picking off top talent, stuff like that. But we do have a very talented team. Like I was saying yesterday, all of those state championships that Epinette won had a Jenkins on it.
Yeah.
Or a Quinn on it, or a Larry on it.
Yes, sir.
Well, we do have a Jenkins on our roster, and we have a Larry on our roster, and we have a Quinn on our roster.
Got some good blood.
So, there you go. There you go. It's a player's game. It's a player's game. All about the players, man.
Yep.
Well, I think this year I think this year is going to be a fun time to watch you guys, especially when y'all start the playoffs. Congratulations on your win last night against FAMU. That puts you guys at 19-0 right now.
Wow.
That's a testament to the team and the cohesiveness sticking together. You guys had Zay Jenkins and Jaden Reese on our show yesterday, and it seems like those guys are locked in, Coach. So how's the locker room mentality right now besides those boys?
Locker room's great, man. These boys, they've been together for so long and spend all their time together, whether it's in the gym or when they go home, probably staying up too late playing video games. So, I mean, they're always together.
You know, you guys do a lot of use of sharing your athletes. I remember way back in the 80s when one of the football coaches said, when they finish football practice, they go down and play basketball under the lights down there. So, they just keep playing sports year round, so it doesn't matter what season it is, they always keep playing. And so they grow up together, I guess, from 6th grade on, right?
They've been playing rec and travel ball.
Okay. So
yeah, in 7th grade, some of these kids started, playing in the varsity basketball tournaments in 7th, 8th grade.
Wow.
One of the special things, because I played against Port St. Joe in the 90s when I played at Bay High, but one of the special things that we noticed about Port St. Joe was just it was a close-knit community. Those kids, even at 4, 5, 6 years old, knew each other. They hung out with each other. So they grew up in a system and looking at what Epinette built, and everybody wanted to be a Port St. Joe Tiger. So talk a little bit about your culture. Talk a little bit about what that means to be the coach at Port St. Joe.
Man, I can't even put into words what it means, especially as a young guy. I'm 25 years old.
Oh, wow. Nice.
So to look up every day and see those banners up there, I know there's big shoes to fill, and I tell the boys all the time, and not me being a Kentucky fan, but when you put on a Kentucky jersey, there's an expectation.
Oh, absolutely.
All right, let's hear it.
That expectation is to win.
Right.
So there's a lot of pressure on these boys. There's a lot of pressure on us as a staff. So it's an honor and a blessing.
Coach, we talked to Coach Jones, for football during the fall, and he's probably one of our more entertaining guests.
Yeah, he is.
Especially him trying to explain.
He's a character. He's hilarious.
Yeah, the playoff situation is for Port St. Joe. Is it the same way in basketball? Explain to us what you're looking forward to in the playoffs. Is it determined by some outside source, some people on Mars? I mean, how do you determine who you play and where and all that stuff? Because it was crazy in football.
The football playoffs are different than basketball. They're all based off a ranking system. But but in the way they do football, most of the times you're going to get the two best teams in that state championship game unless somebody gets upset. In basketball, it's a little different. You still have your districts, you still have your regions, and everything still goes off the ranking system. But you may have the three best teams in the state in one district or one region. So that state championship game really may be your district or regional championship. If that makes sense.
Yeah. No, it does.
Yeah. Like Crossroads is in our district, and I think they're 1 in the state, and we're 3 in the state. So, that game to go to the Final Four, in my opinion, both of us should be down there, but it's just
only one's going to make it on the route that you got to travel.
I'll be honest, I would rather have that system in place than some sports magazine in Nevada deciding whose rankings and deciding whose losses is better than whose losses, because when I see the football rankings, some of them didn't make sense to me. So I'd rather the district champs play the other district champs, the regional goes on, and I know some of the teams may not make it to the Final Four, but at least you're playing the teams that should be in it to see who can advance.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. In what classification are you guys?
So we used to be 1A, and then they created that new division of rural. So it goes rural through 6A, I think, and we are rural.
Okay.
District 4, right?
Now, have you decided if a special game in the playoffs, are you going to wear the striped socks like Coach did?
So Superintendent Norton is very big on the striped socks. I'm actually looking at them right now.
So that would be a yes.
So they are required. We have to wear them in the Final Four. Which I like them. I think
that's fantastic. Awesome. I'm sure you're going to have the same success. He used to go down and play those big schools, and man, you probably have the same thing. He had 14 players. It didn't matter who was in. I would be calling games, and all of a sudden 5 guys run in, 5 guys run out, then 2 guys go in, and he used to tell me, "We're going to shoot it 100 times," and I said, "Well, Coach, I can slow that down." No, don't do that.
Well, the guys that he's got, Coach. He basically labels them all as guards. They all dribble, shoot, block, rebound.
Oh, I know. I tell you what, it's fantastic. You got a great, and I'll tell you this too. You can try this at practice. If you in that dome, it doesn't matter where you are. If you drop that basketball like you're holding it for the referees to drop,
that echo.
It echoes at the top. I don't care how many people are in that dome.
Yeah,
it was like
I love playing that. I felt like I could jump better in that gym for some reason too. I felt like
there's echoes, and there may be a few dead spots where we like to trap opponents.
Right.
When you dribble, that ball's gonna die.
That's a home court advantage,
right? There you go. We're just waiting for somebody to complain.
So if they don't know it, they don't know the ball. They'll tell you the ball. What's wrong with the ball? I don't know. I'll look at it, but Coach, I tell you what, you're doing a great job, and you're in a great place. Coach. You're in a great place. I'm telling you, they come out, the old timers come out, and everybody. So
right man for the right job.
Yes, sir. Have you seen Coach Beelan show up and anything?
Man, Coach Beelan is a very good friend of mine. I actually pick his brain quite a bit. Yes, sir. He shows up to all the home games, and he'll get on the road and travel with us too.
Yeah, you tell him Coach Manley was getting ready to call a technical on the air. So
slap a T on him.
I most definitely will.
So what's your next game coming up, and when do you guys play next?
So we play Weewall-Hitchcock tonight.
Okay, cool.
And then we'll play Leon and Tallahassee tomorrow.
And when does the postseason start?
So we'll finish this week, and then we'll go into next week. We'll play 3 games. We'll play
Bluntstown, Rutherford, and Destin.
And then that next week we'll start the playoffs.
So you were talking about district. Is there an actual district that you're in? And if there is, who is in your district?
So yes, it will be us, Franklin, Crossroads, Osceola, Jefferson County, and Weewall.
All right, where's Crossroads?
Crossroads is up in Quincy. So they used to.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure y'all know West Gadsden.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So that's basically, when West Gadsden, everybody went to Gadsden. Well, then you had Crossroads, which is a private school, and then you have Monroe, which is a private school.
Right.
And they've always been, 3, 4, 5A. In the last few years, both of them have moved down to rural. So Crossroads is in our district.
Yeah, so does rural have all the private schools too, like Air Academy and all the?
Years ago they said they got rid of private schools, and technically, yes, they did. But like a school like Monroe or Crossroads, you have to pay a tuition to go to that school.
Which is the clear definition
of a private
school.
Exactly.
So they give out scholarships basically and can recruit
And
too.
so, yes, and so with all the how the state's done things where you can get a waiver for your child to go to school and it pays tuition or a portion of tuition, technically you can go get kids and recruit them for your academics.
Wow.
Which they don't even have to recruit. There's a lot of talent up there.
Yeah,
that's true. That's true.
I just remember going down and watching some 1A games where I seen Air Academy, and I was like, why is there a 6'9" pilot from Yugoslavia over there playing in 1A? They couldn't even fit in a jet. What is he doing? But it is what it is.
Well, Coach, good luck to you. We enjoyed talking to you, and we'll try to get back with you as soon as the playoffs start.
Thank y'all. Y'all be safe.
Okay.
Thanks, Coach.
All right. Great guy.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of tradition.
St. Joe's back. 19-0, 16-0.
I'm interested in these striped socks. Are they vertical stripes or wrap
the
around?
candy cane. Look,
It's fantastic. Purple and gold, baby.
Yep. I can dig it.
And there was some Quins that played against us in the 90s that were just as good.
You got to see the socks, didn't you? Because they're right by your eyes. They jumped over you.
Yeah.
He coached under Quinn for since 2019.
Oh,
So
really?
he got some great tutelage before he stepped into the role.
I'll tell you a story about my referee, and I throw the ball up, and I'd see tennis shoes on my face. Everybody would jump up. I got kicked in the chest one time. You got to pay attention to what's happening. All right, we'll talk about some of our great sponsors. We talked a little bit about Turf Pro. So, Patrick, they'll take care of your yard. They'll take care of all your bugs except the ones that come from the federal government through your house. So, anything like that. Also, you want to make sure you make sure that you go out there and see Jason and also TK Vandy there, buddy. And one of the things that I really like, Dr. Ward, if you're out in the sun, if the sun comes out, you can get it, you can catch it. So skin cancer is one thing. And I had an example where I had it on my right hand taken off, and I asked my doctor what was going on. He said, how many years you been playing golf? And I said, about 50. And he goes, well, how many times you cover up your right hand? And I said, you never do. So, so they cut a big chunk out. So anyway, like Dr. Ward is a great place to, go see him. He's got an office in our area. If you're listening to us, he's got 8 offices.
Fort Walton Beach.
Yeah, he can ramble them off. I can't keep up with him. He messes me and Brian up.
If you can hear us, there's an office.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct.
Just put it that way.
We'll get out there, and we'll be right back with FSU update. It's 104.3 ESPN Radio. James Hale Show.
ESPN Northwest Florida.
The Dan Patrick Show. I know that we love to play the sympathy card with Buffalo. I know it. They've been through so much hardship, but this was about Josh Allen. He was careless with the football. Josh Allen had 4 giveaways, 2 picks, and 2 lost fumbles. And yes, this was supposed to be his year.
It's the Dan Patrick Show, weekday mornings from 9 till 11. ESPN Northwest Florida.
Are you living with chronic pain, anxiety, or sleepless nights? You don't have to just get by. You deserve to thrive. At Thrive Alternative Medicine on Panama City Beach Parkway, Dr. Laughlin and counselor Suzanne Clark provide a compassionate path to relief. From medical marijuana card certifications to professional mental health counseling, managing conditions like PTSD, chronic pain, and the complexities of cancer. Book online at thrivealternativemedicine.com. thrivealternativemedicine.com. Find the relief you deserve.
Get ready, boys. Valentine's Day is incoming. Coin and Bullion Reserve's fine jewelry will take great care of you and make the process easy. Earrings, necklaces, diamonds, and engagement rings. Jewelry to fit any budget. For decades, you've trusted Coin and Bullion Reserve's fine jewelry, the largest rare coin and bullion dealer in the Southeast. Finest jeweler in town, still at 2621 East 15th Street. Coin and Bullion Reserve's fine jewelry, your diamond headquarters.
We're proud to bring you the most popular cars in the world, like the stylish Camry and the sporty Corolla. Get award-winning style and 2.99% APR on a new Camry. Named the best new model by Kelly Blue Book. Plus, you get 90 days until you make your first payment. Curb appeal comes standard on the new Corolla. Designed to wow from the inside out. Get 2.99% APR plus 90 days until your first payment. Panama City Toyota, your Camry and Corolla headquarters.
Offer ends February 2nd. Visit PanamaCityToyota.com for details.
Reach out, call up and just say hi.
local.
Phone lines are open. 850-215-6290. The Coach James Hale Show is taking your calls live and local from the J. Michael Studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Florida State, Florida State, Florida State. The Florida State Update is brought to you by Newbies, home of everything. You want to go see them? John and John and Charlotte have a great setup. I like the new one over there on the bay, on Bayview, because it's easy for me to get home. And
did they really have a booth just for you with your own, like a statue in front of it?
They have
more like a shrine.
It's the boot with the seat belts in it.
Yeah, it is. It's got a booster chair in there too, so I can see the table. And then they have a statue of me laying on the ground holding my beer, like, hey, So anyway,
one more.
Yeah, one more. That's right. So what is that? One more is not enough, but one more is too many.
That's right.
Okay. So let us know about what you got going with the old Seminoles there.
Well, we were talking about before the show. It's kind of never in my wildest dreams did I ever think that Florida State would be struggling in football, just the sport that made them famous. But there are other things going on. We probably don't talk enough about it. Their soccer, women's soccer was NCAA champs. I mean, obviously you can't get any better than that.
Yep. And
that's pretty much a yearly tradition. I mean, they're playing, either winning or playing for it just about every year. Softball's coming up. They're picked to win the ACC. Baseball's very good. So those things are doing very well. Basketball, they're kind of struggling, kind of trying to find their way a little bit. They're replacing Leonard Hamilton for the men's team. So it's going to take a little bit. The transition's always tough.
Right.
It's easy unless you got John Wooden coming and taking over or something. It makes it a little bit tougher. But the thing that we all will talk about is with football. Now, the thing that I want to talk about with all of you three, excuse me, the last three national championship teams, besides being in the Big Ten, but besides that, they've all been older teams. Michigan had a very experienced team, so did Ohio State, and Indiana certainly did. So I want to hear your guys' take on this, because Florida State 3 years ago was 13-1. We thought, man, these guys are going to be going to be it, and then not so much.
They gave Norvell that huge contract.
I thought, man, they're really headed for something big. And then at the bottom just fell out. And you always hear these things. Well, you got to get the transfer portal. And the good and bad of the Indiana situation. If I'm a college coach, the bad thing of it is I think that expectation. Well, if Indiana can do it, they were the losingest team in the history of college football. If they can do it, why can't Florida State do it?
Right.
Or why can't any team? Why can't Wake Forest do it? Why can't Vanderbilt do it? Why can't pick a team from any conference? Why can't Oregon State do it? India. Why does Indiana got the monopoly on how to do this? And I think that's going to set up a lot of short leashes for a lot of people. I really believe that. This is my opinion. Can't prove it hasn't happened yet, but that's what I think is going to happen. So I'm just kind of interested to hear what your guys taking about the older team kind of thing, or just that in general.
I think we saw that with Ohio State. They let a couple of their young wide receivers walk, brought in some experienced guys, one from LSU. The other kid, I think, was from San Jose State or something that was really good. But I think teams are starting to kind of look at that and say, hey, high school recruiting is nice, but are we going to spend $2 million on a guy that may not play for 2 years? Or are we going to go out and get a guy that's ready-made, can step in today, play? The one thing that people have to realize about Cignetti is, A, he's a good coach. That's not, you can't sugarcoat that anymore. Yeah, you can't throw that under the bus or brush that under the rug. But he brought a majority of those kids from James Madison where they knew the culture, they knew his system, they knew what to do.
And knew the expectation.
Watch those games. You didn't see any freak athletes out there that were just like, wow, this is an NFL superstar. But they were in the right position every single play. Those zone defenses. The one thing I hate about a zone defense is you get a guy drop and he drops to a spot and the receiver might be 3 feet from him and he's just covering that area. If you watch their drops, they're attacking receivers. They're locked onto them. They make it very hard.
Yeah, they're very well coached.
They're
for sure.
super well coached and disciplined. So there's a lot of things going on there that are going to be hard to mask. So we're going to figure out this thing with the transfer portal, but I do think teams are starting to go for those older players, especially on the offense, defensive lines, and they're starting to stack them because,
Florida
we got a 105 limit, scholarship limit now, so you can stack
Florida State has not figured out the transfer portal.
No.
I mean, 24/7 Sports just graded their transfer pickups C-.
Yeah, but you don't know when they picked up Verse and they picked up the other guys. They were from
I'm talking
small,
about specifically.
Yeah, I know, but they were smaller guys, and they came in to prove a point.
Yeah,
and so I think you got to get those hungry guys. But when we talk about the older thing, I think about BYU. They send them on a mission,
right?
And they come back and they're older. They've had some success here lately, but the other thing too is when you get a guy it's really hurting the kids that are coming out of high school
for sure.
Oh, so what it's going to do is going to build up. To me, it's going to build up the junior college.
Yeah, it builds up the JUCO.
When you got a 23-year-old going against a 19-year-old, that's a big difference.
It is.
If a guy's been in a weight room for 4 or 5 years, it takes years to build muscle like that and strength. If you looked at Indiana's players, there was no huge guy on the defensive line, but those were grown men in there.
Yeah, they were tough.
They held their point of attack. I mean, they weren't getting pushed around. Even though Miami's offensive line was probably 20, 30 pounds on average bigger than them, they still held their gaps and still played sound football. And to me, I don't think you need these. Elite superstars at every position. If you're going to go out and spend $4 or $5 million in every position, I think that's a recipe to fail. But if you can just get solid guys with experience that buy into your program, I think that's going to be the way of the future.
I think the biggest thing. Well, there's a couple things. I just compare I was thinking about this driving in there. I think about me, just me personally, Jim Moran, and 18 years old when I went to University of Akron, Division II, but it's still football. Football's football.
Yeah.
And the difference between me being ready to play as a freshman to my senior year is like night and day.
Right, yeah.
There's no comparison. You're so much more ready because you know what to expect. You have more confidence. You know the system. You don't have to think about the thing that people overlook. When you're young, a lot of times you're always that little doubt. You're not sure. Well, if they do that, what do I got to do again? You can't do that. It's got to be like this.
Right.
And that doesn't happen overnight. And I think that's, I'm going to say a lot more of the older players just for that reason right there, because they've already played. They've already got that experience. They've already got that, I'm not sure, out of their system. And I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. But I really think there's going to be a lot of short leashes at a lot of places. Well, Indiana, Mark, this is me predicting. Well, if Indiana can do it, how come we can't do it?
Yeah, that's true. The thing that bothers me a little bit, and of course I don't get to make those decisions, we have a quarterback, Kevin Sperry, who's proven that he can move the football because he did against Stanford. Now, I realize it's Stanford, but he did move the ball down the field, and we couldn't do it. And then we had Castellanos was pretty good, but when he got hurt, then he wasn't the same person. So why not put the younger guy in? And then when we got, I call him ukulele, whatever. Right. To me, he was hurt, and he didn't play very well. So then, we're going to end up losing Sperry, and then you're going to have to hit the portal every time. And we already lost 2 or 3 freshmen that came in.
Right.
So I don't know why we just can't go with the guy we have to start with. If Malzahn says he does it and can run it, why are we not playing him? So,
Well, I think, who do we grab? Ashton Daniels?
Yeah,
right? From Auburn. So Ashton Daniels knows that, I assume he played under Gus Malzahn.
Right.
At least for 1 year. Kind of knows the expectation.
Well, here's the other
maybe that's a good pickup.
Here's the other thing, though. We only saw him play 4 games. All right, so he only came in after, was Arnold got hurt or whatever the guy's name? So I don't know. How does he react? I mean, I know, so he played in the SEC, big deal. He only played 4 games.
Yeah.
And who did he play in the SEC? Other than the Bama game was probably the biggest one.
Right.
So I'm not sure that, what we're going on, and it proves it doesn't matter what league you come out of, you can wind up playing for the national championship.
Well, besides Mendoza, how about Chambliss at Ole Miss?
Right.
He played at Ferris. I guarantee there's probably 90% of the people don't even know where Ferris State is.
I'm one of them. I'll be honest.
It's Virginia.
I'm number 2.
I do. It's in Virginia. I know.
No, that's James Madison. Ferris State's in Detroit.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Is it?
Yep.
Okay. Well, that's where. There was a Ferris. That must be a junior college that Coach Sorrells played for.
Okay.
So, yeah. So, but anyway.
How can a guy from Ferris State play at what is the so-called highest level of football ever created in the SEC? He went from Division II to the SEC and flourished, did great.
That's another kid with a lot of experience, played for a national title.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's one of the kind of common themes that we're seeing now with the portal.
And so cool, calm, and collected.
Yeah.
I mean, just
when you got 40
smooth
starts,
dude.
35 starts, I mean, not a lot's going to, shake you up.
Right.
You've seen it all. I don't care if it's Ferris State or Ohio State or Alabama. Football's football at some level.
Starts.
Yeah.
Is it true or is it fake news online that who's the guy that owns the Dallas Maverick?
Mark Cuban.
Mark Cuban's offering Fernando Mendoza money to stay another year.
He just declared today and put his paperwork in.
Oh, he did?
He might have, but
He might have offered him, yeah.
no, I know.
I heard he was going to offer him.
Moten, the defensive tackle from Miami, is reportedly coming back for a large amount of money. So,
From where?
Miami, the defensive tackle that really dominated
Right.
that national championship game.
Yeah.
Outside of Bain, Bain's gone, but Moten was a big, big.
they always talk about recruiting. Well, Fernando Mendoza is the biggest miss of all time. He played at Christopher Columbus High School in Miami, Florida.
Yeah.
He wanted to walk on there, and they wouldn't even offer him.
They wouldn't even offer him a preferred walk-on.
Wouldn't even let him walk
And
on.
his dad played with Cristobal.
And his dad played with Cristobal.
And then last year, they offered him to come transfer, and his family turned him down, saying, no, you didn't recruit us out of high school, so he went
Good
to
for them.
Indiana,
That's
and
right.
look what happened.
Yeah, so congratulations.
Then
All right, we got to
full
take a
circle,
break
man.
here, though.
Yeah.
And we want to thank John and Charlotte at Newbies for all the great places they have and great entertainment, great bands, the best food, and what Charlotte wants, Charlotte gets. And I want to thank them for the one on the bay there, Bayview, one of my favorite places now. I don't have to go very far.
That's
you can
right.
actually walk home and not worry about it. But
That's
if they
right.
can't, they will pick you up if you can't stay straight on the sidewalk. So anyway, that's profiling.
Ask
by the
me
way.
how I know.
That's right. No. So we'll be back.
February's almost over, buddy. You'll find
ESPN, Northwest Florida, Coach James Hale Show.
Have you ever wanted to reach out and smack someone?
You can't fix stupid, but you can divorce it.
The new Sports Blitz. Rants, hot takes, and huge reactions are incoming.
And on behalf of 70% of the Alabama fan base,
Feel the burn.
we want a damn divorce.
The Red 70s studio line.
You cannot give LSU extra opportunities.
850-215-6290. ESPN Northwest Florida.
He has not turned the ball over.
Get in the game.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida with your Friday's weather. This afternoon and evening there will be a light breeze out of the north-northwest, some clouds, and 68. Mostly clouds tonight, a little colder at 56. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy throughout the day with a low chance of rain showers in the evening and a high of 67. About the same at 70 Sunday, and we'll have possible thunderstorms and light showers. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
Tired of boring merch and want your brand to stand out like the big names? Elevate your look with Red 7 Tees. They don't just print shirts, they create bold identities. They are a veteran-owned custom apparel shop providing the kind of detail that turns heads, using high-quality digital printing and embroidery to give you that unique style you love with no minimums or cookie-cutter designs. From small business to sports teams, if you've got a vision, they'll help you wear it proudly. Visit red7tees.com.
Ask for special ESPN Northwest Florida pricing.
No one wants to deal with a plumbing, electrical, or HVAC emergency. It's even worse when you're not sure what it'll cost, when it'll get fixed, or if someone's just selling you something. When you call Hiller, you can trust our experts to actually solve your home's problems quickly. And with true transparency pricing, you know the price you're told is the price you'll actually pay. Book online now at happyhiller.com. Happy you'll be, or the service is free.
I'm a happy-faced truck today.
When he played football, helmets had not been invented yet. Players played both sides, and quarterbacks weren't afraid of needles. It's the Coach James Hale Show, live from the J. Michael Studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Hey, we're back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. And you know what? I have no idea what we're going to talk about.
I always know what we're going to talk about.
The obvious elephant in the room is Coach James Hale's leg.
Oh, yeah. Listen, the Wild Kingdom guy goes up to the mountains, Gatlinburg, and goes to Dolly Parton's birthday party. and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
And then they said he had an injury. He got bit. We thought, dadgum, one
Bear
of the bears
or a wildcat.
One of the bears have just eaten him up.
Wolf.
Snake, something. Mountain lion.
Yeah, anything, but guess what? The old brown recluse spider got him.
Now, his wife, Julie, God bless her, I love this woman. Julie posted on the ESPN Facebook page a picture of Coach's leg. Mm-hmm. And not that anybody wants to ever see Coach Hale's legs, but it looks pretty gnarly. And they took him to an emergency room to have him sedated and babied and everything else and creamed up, whatever they do. But the only thing I've ever seen worse than that has been a rattlesnake bite. But it looks pretty bad.
It does.
But he's
So if
doing
anybody
well.
has any knowledge about how serious brown recluse bites are, let us know.
Yeah. So,
because I don't want to rag him too much if it's serious.
It's serious. Yeah.
But if it's not serious, it's all bets are off.
We'll find out about it Monday. I think he's supposed to be back on Monday.
I got to think, too, that the state of Florida, believe it or not, we talked about us losing all these coaches to Georgia for money and everything. And so the state legislature, and I said this earlier, the House of Representatives has passed this bill 731, and then the Senate passed one also. It's called 538, and it's to raise the price of the salary of coaches, especially in football. And then it goes, and if you go to this article, it's by the Florida Coaches Coalition, and it tells you about what they're going to pay other coaches if you're not administrators, and it gives you how much a kid can play for another school. They've revamped some of the rules, and so it's a good thing to go read. And I had a friend of mine from Tennessee who actually sent it to me, and let me see if I can get this website. Yeah, it's on on3.com, and it's just multiple bills passed by high school athletic coaches pay. So it's on on3.com, so you can read that.
I wonder if they discussed in this any of the rules about how you shouldn't be able to leave your school in the middle of the year and go play another sport at another school.
There's legitimate ways to do it. Okay, if you actually move into that zone. Okay,
if your parents move into that zone,
that zone,
because you can drive, you shouldn't be able to be like, you know what, I'm going to play basketball at Arnold this year, but I play football at Mosley.
Here's the thing, but unless it's a legitimate move, but you do go, you have to make sure you go before basketball starts, before they start working out. So, that's one of the rules, too. And the other thing is you have a court order, say you're in a foster home, okay, or, there's dual custody of the child, and you move, and there's another rules. There's 2 or 3 rules, but they probably changed a little bit since I was AD, but,
so you're saying, if mom and dad's divorced and you stay with mom the first half of the year,
if you get football, you have to have dual custody to do that.
Yeah.
Because we had a football player that came from South Walton. They had dual custody, and we had to prove it. I mean, we had to have the paper to prove it. So he played with us for 5 games.
Well, I guess there's some workarounds.
And then he transferred. He played for 5 games, and then he transferred back to Tennessee. I was like, what? But you can, there's all kind of things. In
Bluntstown has a lot of dual custody parents.
Yeah, there's a lot of dual custody in Bluntstown.
Well, here's the thing. If you can declare in a power of attorney, there's some things there where you can give a power of attorney. Now, it can't go to the coach.
Right.
But and I'm sure Bluntstown had quite a few, I guess you would say, an NIL deal.
Something.
Yeah, and that's going to, the NIL deal is the next thing. And there are some players, I think it was a soccer player in South Walton had an NIL deal.
Really?
Yeah. And then there's Mississippi, the state of Mississippi is now going to put that in.
Who's paying these NIL deals over there in Bluntstown?
I don't know.
Car dealership over there? What we got?
It would make sense for
GM dealership?
If just as, to have a really well-known high school football player would benefit my business and be able to network through that. So that would make sense for a business like a sports nutrition company, that somebody could be the face of our company, like Mac Pittman back in the day, that was a superstar, or Peter Ward.
What was Bluntstown's run back that time before State? Amari Thomas?
Yeah.
So I can see that. I'm not a big fan of it, but we live in a capitalist society. I mean, if you can earn money. But my problem is most of these NIL deals have nothing to do with NIL. I mean, nobody knows who these kids are when they get to college campuses.
It hasn't done what it's supposed to do.
No.
It was supposed to be where you, as a person, get your own deal. It doesn't go through the school.
Right. Yeah. Like an Arch Manning, who's well-known, could, sell millions of whatever just because he's well-known, the family, the name, the brand. That's NIL. A kid that we've never heard of, that's a 5-star, high school quarterback that's never played a down of football. They're giving $2 million to come to a school. That's not NIL. That's called pay for play. Right. And there's nobody out there policing that. And I think that's what's wrong with the sport right now.
You think they'll have to put them under some kind of contract?
You would think.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, because you're paying them for their name, image, and likeness to use it for your business.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So
to be a brand ambassador for your business, which obviously you hope drives sales up because it drives attention. Maybe,
that's the point.
That's the whole point of it. Everything else, you're 100% right. It's pay to play.
Right. It is. And, the thing, too, is I keep saying this. I remember when we got our $15 for laundry money, whether we needed it or not. I'm not sure I've spent any of that on laundry money.
A couple beers on the weekend.
Glenn, you never washed your clothes?
What you got in the bag? Sixer.
Most of the time, I was like Conrad, and if you take your clothes and put it in that bag, they'll wash them. You just take them home, you have to fold them. That's about it.
Yeah.
I never thought of that. That's a good idea. 50 years after the fact. Yeah. That's a good idea.
So, but yeah, things are, it's what we live in. So if you don't play by that rule,
well, they just need more. In my opinion, and listen, I'm capitalist, Republican, the whole, less government.
Right.
But, I'm also like, well, you still need roads. You still need fire stations, police you still need infrastructure and all that. And I think what this needs is infrastructure.
Right.
Because this is a big money deal. This is something that's not going away. Once you've opened up that jar,
you can't put the genie back in.
Put the genie back.
There's a couple court cases coming up that are going to really define, how this is going to move forward. Damon Wilson in Georgia, that court case, Georgia suing him.
He signed with somebody.
Yeah, he signed with Miami. So he's going to get another big paycheck to go down there. The Mensah, quarterback from Duke, that signed his NIL deal. So when he signed with Duke, they had in his contract, if you leave, you cannot enroll in another school. Your NIL goes to us. So now they're in a court battle right now where he's suing Duke to try to get out of that.
Where did he want to go?
Miami.
Okay.
And, the old tampering's illegal. How are these kids getting offers after they sign their NIL deals if they're not tampering? That's 100% tampering right there. But that court case is going to define a lot of how these NIL contracts are going to be viewed by the courts. And if they're upheld, then we're going to see some structure.
And that one's that's an emergent, they're like fast tracking that.
Yeah, that was somewhat of I don't know how to, correctly word it.
It's not emergency, but
I think they had an injunction that allowed him to transfer. Another judge came, he recused himself. The second judge said, no, this contract should be upheld till we have a court case. So they sped it up. And I think this next court case is February 2nd on whether he's going to be able to leave. Right now, if he signs an NIL deal, they have to pay Duke. So if he signed $1 million to go to Miami can't pay him. They have to pay Duke for his rights. So some of these collectives are starting to get very creative on how.
Well, you know what? If you sign a contract, you should honor that contract.
And Washington,
I can't get out of contracts that I signed.
No, that's what the contract's for. They should be binding, and that's the problem with college football right now. There's nobody out there that's enforcing anything. So,
and imagine who's probably guiding him with that. Somebody with not the proper litigious expertise.
Well, it doesn't. Anybody can be your agent.
Right.
Oh, it's probably a homie.
Look at Seton, the kid from Colorado. He's going to be a first-round draft pick at an offensive tackle. Everybody in the country wants him. He went to Miami. He was probably going to sign with Miami. His uncle said, nah. Uncle Phil Knight at Oregon called me and wants us to come up there and visit. The kid wants to go to Miami. Uncle probably wants to get a little, swell his pockets a little bit. So he's like, no, we're going to take a, visit to Oregon. So now you got an uncle involved and you got a second cousin involved. And these guys aren't agents. They just want to line their pockets too, to be honest. So the kid's going to
hang your honor.
Yeah, the kid's going to get his money, but it's the outside. Right now, agents, and none of them are certified through, like the NFL, you have to be certified.
Yeah,
have
exactly.
To be registered.
It's a license.
Yeah, so none of that's happening in college football. It's almost embarrassing where we are in college football. now. Like, if you're just a super fan and you have $1 billion, you can win a national championship. And that's the difference. It's not about coaching. It's not about recruiting. It's not about your history or your culture. It's about how much money do you have to buy the most talent. And some of these guys are just super fans. The Miami guy's just a super fan. Mark Cuban's just a super fan. I mean, it ain't got nothing to do with the school. It ain't got nothing with developing talent. They're going out and buying experienced, developed players from other schools because they got billions of dollars and they're just fans. Yeah. And that's what's being run by college football right now. And it's kind of embarrassing.
And what they're doing is they're taking away from Division II and Division III talent.
And high school kids.
Yeah, and high school
Because who wants to get an 18-year-old that may not play for 2 years? Are you going to pay that guy $1 million to sit on the bench? No. I'm going to go get a 24-year-old stud offensive lineman that's going to come in this year.
So do you think that it's now turning into like, okay, so high school used to be like, okay, so you got JUCO, D1, pros, but now do you think it's more like high school, prep school, semi-pro, pro?
Right.
I mean, if you think about it, and like
it's almost to the point where
there's really no
football is more attractive to the younger guys. In other words, your rookies and the first 3-year guys, because they're getting more money in college than they are in their first 3-year rookie contract.
Yeah.
So if you're not a top 15 pick, like Carson Beck's not going to be a top first round pick. He made $6 million at Miami. He won't make $6 million in his first contract in the NFL.
No.
So some of these kids are getting more money and staying in college because they get more money from a collective than they will, and there's no structure to it. So
yeah, I think when Brock Purdy got drafted and signed, I think his first 3 years he only made like $900,000. Yeah, or like $900,000 each year.
And Carson Beck made $6 million last year throwing an interception.
Let's talk about a couple of our sponsors before we move on to the Alabama update with Jeff Siegel. But we want to talk about Steve's Bike Shop. So it's right there across the street from Sam's. Any kind of bike you want. They do all kinds of work on your bike, and they have all kind of safety equipment, accessories, anything you want. They'll have the regular bike. They have the electric bike. So get on there. Been a company since 1979. So, and he's also the swim coach at Mosley. Get out there and see him, talk to him, tell him we sent you. Also, you want to talk about, let's talk about Jay Michaels, man. I tell you what, some of the best food ever today is crisp fish with rice and peppers and onion, and get out there and enjoy that. But have great food no matter what it is. And if you're up there towards Lynn Haven, make sure that you go by and see Beef O'Brady, see Pat, tell him we sent you. Get those wings and get the onion rings and everything you want, and then you're just going to trot on down to David Adamson's Jewelry right there on Ohio Street, right there, almost right across from the new building where they have the new mayor too, by the way. So get out there. Great job on jewelry. They can if you have an idea, they can fix it for you. And you know what? I had a great idea and they did it. And they will sell and buy jewelry for you. And they'll also, your gold comes in and stash that gold, baby. Wildcat's got it. I can see him in a big bag back there. So
they're not. I take my gold there and take your jewelry there because you don't want to lose your stones. They'll do a free jewelry inspection and they'll do a free jewelry cleaning, and that can be invaluable. It's free at David Adamson Designer Jewelry, 830 Highway 77, Lynn Haven.
I definitely have my stones covered, so they can't get
Don't
mine.
lose your stones.
That's right, baby. We'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is your spot for college basketball.
And it goes in at the buzzer. Got it.
Listen to select games from the LSU Tigers, Florida Gators, the Auburn Tigers, and the biggest games around the country play here.
Three-pointer, puts it in. Oh, you saw that coming, Ram.
The most live college basketball on the Panhandle.
Game is over.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida and the ESPN Northwest Florida app.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida with your Friday's weather. This afternoon and evening there will be a light breeze out of the north-northwest, some clouds and 68. Mostly clouds tonight, a little colder at 56. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy throughout the day with a low chance of rain showers in the evening and a high of 67. About the same at 70 Sunday, and we'll have possible thunderstorms and light showers. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
full residential and commercial projects from start to finish, Wheelhouse is ready to help. From the moment you have the thought to build to the moment you step through the front door of your finished project, Wheelhouse Consulting and Engineering will walk you through all of your aspirations. Engineering, site plans, live architectural design, construction, 3D rendering, permits, and more. Wheelhouse Consulting and Engineering, 850-896-6597. That's 850-896-6597. And online at wheelhousedba.com.
WGSX Lynn 8 and WVLQ Port St. Joe. Panama City's home for Super Bowl 60. Powered by Panama City Toyota.
Your biggest investment is your home. Protect it while also improving its appearance with Earthworks of Northwest Florida. We have sand, mulch, gravel, or lay down decorative stone, all available for pickup and delivery. Discover your dream landscape with Earthworks of Northwest Florida. Imagine the moment you proudly pull up to your home that you've worked so hard for, enhanced by quality mulch, decorative stones, and more. Let's make it happen today. Request a quote online at earthworkspc.com or swing by the office at 2005 Industrial Drive. Love the land you live on.
This is where heroes are created, legends are born, and dynasties forged. The Sports Talk Master, ESPN Northwest Florida. Now back to the Coach James Hale Show inside the J. Michaels Studio. And now from the J. Michaels Studio, the Alabama Auburn Update.
Roll Tide, y'all.
With Jeff Spiegel, sports anchor from Birmingham, Alabama's ABC 3340. The Alabama Auburn Update every Friday morning on the Coach Hale Show. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Roll Tide. I can't believe I said that. Go ahead and brought to you by...
That's stuck in your throat, doesn't it?
I'll tell you what, hair on my neck stood up when I said that. But, yeah, brought to you by Steve's Air Conditioning. What a great place. Mosley grad, homeschool guy. We really appreciate all he does, and he will let you know exactly what you need. You won't have to buy something that you don't need. So congratulations to him for doing such a great job for our community. All right, we'll bring him in now. Mr. Roll Tide himself. Jeff, how you doing today?
Jeffrey? Now, wait a minute. Let me clarify that. I work in, I'm a broadcast journalist at a television station. So I am not, I'm not Roll Tide. I'm not War Eagle. I'm both.
Okay.
Okay.
But that makes me feel better. Roll Tide.
He's impartial. He's objective.
Anything exciting happening in Alabama besides the basketball situation?
Well, I've had to relearn how to say Bediako several times in the span of a couple of minutes. But it's not as hard as saying Tagovailoa.
No, I know.
But I mean it's kind of crazy down here. I mean we've become I don't know I guess maybe to the rest of the college basketball world. I mean Alabama's kind of a villain right now. Yeah. And it'll be interesting to see. What kind of reception Bediako gets, at Alabama, if he gets, during pregame warm-ups, if he gets in the game. I mean, I'm sure the Alabama faithful will cheer him and all that. But listen, I've talked to some Alabama fans since this happened, and, they're kind of like, they have this look on their face like, are we getting away with something? Is this right? Should we be doing this?
Jeff, why don't you explain for the viewers out there who may not know exactly what his situation, what exactly did he do, and what is his status now?
Okay, in 2023, he declared for the NBA draft, and everybody to a man was going, dude, you're not ready. You're not ready. You're not ready for the NBA. So he goes anyway, and he doesn't get drafted. But he signs an NBA contract with the San Antonio Spurs, one of those two-way deals, where they're going to send him to the G League, and they're going to try to develop him. Great defensive player, offensive skill set, wasn't that great and close. I mean, of course, he was 7 feet tall. He's pretty good. But he never got to the NBA level. And he's played in, I guess, 3 different organizations. He's signed 3 different contracts with the NBA, but he's not played an NBA game. He's played just G League games.
So now, he appealed to the NCAA.
Was he paid to play in the G League?
Made $5 million.
Whoa.
For 3 years. Yeah. So now he wants to come back to Alabama and play. The NCAA said, no, you sign an NBA contract, you can't do it. I mean, that's clear cut that if you sign an NBA deal, you can't come back.
You were forfeiting your right as an amateur at that point.
Exactly. And so now, a judge, Jim Roberts in Tuscaloosa, by the way, is UA Athletics donor. Yeah, he and his wife. So that smacks conflict of interest, to me. I didn't go to law school. My son did. But
a judge doesn't have to recluse himself from.
Well, I mean,
not in Tuscaloosa.
You would think, but so it's happened, and everybody's, a lot of other coaches. Like Todd Golden last night was classic. He said, look, basically Todd Golden put it in a 6 and 7 year old terminology. You had your turn. You gave up your turn. You went to the other playground.
Right.
You can't come back to this playground.
Yep.
Makes sense.
You can't come back to this playground and push a kid off his swing. I mean, you can't do that.
How old is he?
So, I want to say 24.
Dang.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And how much eligibility does he have left in Alabama? How much longer can he play?
2 years. 2 years, I think.
Wow.
2 years, I believe. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
It's
So Jeff, currently the NCAA has been told by the judge that the NCAA is not allowed right now to sanction him, punish the coaches, punish the players,
punish the school
in any way right now. That they have to allow him, and that's why he's able to dress currently, right, and start practicing with the team.
It's a temporary restraining order that is that's a 10-day deal. Having said that, his hearing is going to be Tuesday at 9 a.m. in Tuscaloosa County Circuit Court. So there will be a hearing of his case, against the NCAA. And so, we'll see how that goes. That night, incidentally, they play Missouri. So,
okay.
But Golden was asked if that's going to be a distraction, for his team, which I thought was kind of a silly question, but more of a distraction, I think, for Alabama than it would be for Florida. And Golden just says, well, we'd beat him anyway.
Well, here's the thing. If he gets ruled against him, if he dresses out, he's considered playing. So they forfeit the Tennessee game and the
potential wins
and the potential wins. Yeah.
Well, that's a good question, and I think that's why Alabama's got to play this, kind of careful here.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, I wouldn't be comfortable if I'm Nate Oates, putting him in the lineup, until that hearing happens on Tuesday.
I mean, how important are those two games, right? I mean, are they...
goes with the SEC standings, and when you go to the tournament...
My understanding when these injunctions are in place, that they can do whatever they want according to the language. So they can't punish him, they can't punish the school, they can't do whatever. So he can play, and then if they rule against him, then his eligibility is taken away, but they cannot go and reverse and punish him for something that he had an injunction for. My biggest question is...
No, it would be moving forward.
Right.
Hey,
then they'll be moving forward, he'll be ineligible, he won't be able to play, but they won't have to forfeit games or anything like that. My question is, how does this impact football? What if an NFL player sat on the bench for 60 games for his first 2 seasons? Is like, I didn't really play. I may have made a little
team.
Yeah, but say Derrick Henry didn't get into a game or something and says, hey, I want to go back to Alabama and play my 7th year. Is this a basketball specific ruling, or does this have anything to do with football as well?
Well, Bediako's main argument is that, hey, you got professional basketball players playing college ball right now.
Right.
I mean, you got guys who have played in professional leagues in Europe, who are playing on college basketball rosters right now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
What's the difference between an NBA guy, coming back and playing for a college team, than a guy who played in Serbia, like Jovic, who's playing for Auburn right now, or the kid who's playing at Baylor, who played for Barcelona, at a real high pro level, overseas. The NFL, they don't have that.
Right.
There's not that kind of thing where, the NCAA. What the NCAA has done, they've drawn a line here, but the line is kind of squiggly.
Yeah,
because they've let European pro players in, but they've got this line against NBA players. So that's something that's a language in that deal that's kind of biting them right now.
Yeah, the thing is, what was really funny is they said, well, you can't do anything to people that come from Europe. Well, it seems like to me you'd ship everybody over for a year and bring them back.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Who is running college sports? Does anybody know?
No.
It's just
a ridiculous question, and I'm offended.
Well, Jeff, we got to take a break, and we'll bring you back can I just call you Mr. Auburn when we come back in, or just not say anything?
Boring.
Oh, wow. Wow.
You'd definitely be in some trouble.
Well, listen, I was born in Opelika, so I can't help it. You know what I'm saying? So, anyway. All right, we'll be back with Jeff, and thank you for Steve's Air Conditioning for sponsoring the Alabama Update. And we want to let you know that Pat Perno and Beef O'Brays will be sponsoring the Auburn one coming up. Steve's Bike Shop, TK Vandy Roofing, Max Fit Sports Nutrition, and all the sponsors we have. We thank you for what you do for us. And we'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN, Northwest Florida, James Hale Show.
Jeffrey.
ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Coach James Hale Show.
The ones that had access to be able to buy tickets or had tickets, got tickets, that the average or median price was $4,200 some odd dollars.
That's right.
And so, I mean, if you were able to get tickets or had access to tickets, $3 or $4 grand in my pocket, I'm going to do that.
Weekday morning 7 to 9. ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida with your Friday's weather. This afternoon and evening there will be a light breeze out of the north-northwest, some clouds, and 68. Mostly clouds tonight, a little colder at 56. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy throughout the day with a low chance of rain showers in the evening and a high of 67. About the same at 70 Sunday, and we'll have possible thunderstorms and light showers. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
PCB Hobby, the beach's premier hobby store for sports cards, comics, coins, and trading card games. PCB Hobby carries the largest selection of boxes and packs from the latest releases of brands like Topps, Panini, Leaf, and more. Looking for a specific player or team? PCB Hobby has a wide assortment of raw and graded cards. They carry parallel rookie, game used, and autographed cards in both modern and vintage. Have a collection you want to sell? We buy, sell, and trade. PCB Hobby on Back Beach Road, just east of Florida Linen. Call 850-320-8388.
Full residential and commercial projects from start to finish, Wheelhouse is ready to help. From the moment you have the thought to build to the moment you step through the front door of your finished project, Wheelhouse Consulting and Engineering will walk you through all of your aspirations. Engineering, site plans, live architectural design, construction, 3D rendering, permits, and more. Wheelhouse Consulting and Engineering, 850-896-6597. That's 850-896-6597. And online at wheelhousedba.com.
He's a beacon of light to many and an inspiration to all.
Winning.
The Coach James Hale Show, live from the J. Michaels Studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Congratulations to Beef O'Brays for sponsoring this lovely segment. So we'll be out there. And Jeff,
some wings.
Tell us a little bit about what's going on at the Auburn Tigers there.
Well, the basketball program's kind of been, kind of been up and down, but they had a really good midweek game. They went to Ole Miss, and this is an Ole Miss team that they've beaten 9 times in a row going into that game. But Stephen Pearl had not won an SEC road game yet, so this is a big deal for them. They go in there and they take control of the whole game, and they play really well from start to finish. Keyshawn Murphy had 16 points, 14 rebounds. Keyshawn Hall did what Keyshawn Hall does. He got in double digits, went to the foul line. Speaking of the foul line, they go to Ole Miss. Now listen, this rarely ever happens. You go to Ole Miss, and they went to the line like 35 times or something like that. Made 29 free throws. Ole Miss was 12 of 15.
Wow.
You hardly ever see a discrepancy like that when you're playing a road game. But that tells you how dominant Auburn was in the paint and how they got to the line. And I'm telling you, it's pretty clear to me that the bottom two teams in the SEC right now are Ole Miss and Mississippi State. And Auburn is, kind of there in the middle. They got a big game at Florida on Saturday. Florida, I think, is
number 16,
the best team in the league at this point. Texas A&M is tied with Florida. That's another great story, Bucky McMillan and what he's done there. But Auburn is, that was a big win for them. That was monumental for them to get that, SEC road win monkey off their back.
Yeah, he's stepping in some big shoes there, even though he's been on his dad's staff.
Yeah, no doubt. And he's his own guy. And he's got a lot of the guys that was on Bruce's staff before, and that created some continuity going into this year. He's got some really good players, and they but the problem that Auburn runs into is just playing like a lot of basketball teams, just putting a solid 40 minutes together. You can't have stretches where you can't score or you can't make stops. But that midweek game against Ole Miss was pretty big for them. Too early to call it a turning point in the season, certainly, because, they could go to Gainesville and get beat by 20 or 25. I mean, easily. But that was a big win for them for sure.
So they're playing Florida at home? Or no, Florida.
They're playing at the O'Connell Center. Yeah.
Wow.
And Florida's just playing so well right now. And I don't. They're the defending national champs, and they're certainly looking like it right now.
Yeah, but that's hard to play in that place. I can tell
absolutely.
You. Everybody's sitting right on top of you. Really, the student section is right there by your bench. So,
but if they could pull that off, that'd be a nice win for Auburn.
It would be. What do you hear about football and how everything's going with that?
Yeah, well, I mean, he's signed 34 guys out of the portal to date. Yesterday, he got a running back from Troy, who's a good little running back, Tay Meadows, and he also got a quarterback from Louisiana Monroe, who they are going to convert to a tight end. So there's a lot of is a big guy. So there's a lot of unknowns, but man, they have cleaned up in the portal and turned over their roster. And it'll be interesting to see when they all come together in the spring, how this team looks. And you're not going to be able to tell much from, spring games nowadays. But they've gone in and they filled their needs. They signed a lot of offensive linemen. And so he's restocked and reloaded, and we'll see how year one goes.
Jeff, if you were to grade the transfer portal that Auburn swooped up to 32, what would you give them, A through F?
Ooh, wow. Just looking on paper of what they did and how they filled their needs, I mean, I would I'd give it a B-.
Okay.
I'm not ready to to hand out A's or anything, but I'd have to wait and see how these guys perform. But they've gone out and like I said, met their needs, and everybody thought, well, they've already got a couple of running backs out of the portal, they're not going to get any more, but they got Meadows, and Meadows a good player from Troy, so we'll see how that works out. Certainly losing Cam Coleman was a big deal, but they've gone in and they've filled those needs.
Yeah, the other thing, too, is what about you kept the defensive coordinator, and that's the guy that was actually wanted the job, too. So how do you think that may work out?
Well, I think it's going to work out really well. I think a lot of the guys were really pulling for him to get that job. I don't think he was really ever seriously considered, for the head coaching job. But I think it was very important for Auburn to keep him on the staff. and because a lot of those defensive guys just love that guy. The offensive guys too. You talked to Keldrick Falk, and Keldrick Falk said, the period that Durkin was the interim head coach was like the most fun he's ever had in college football, which kind of told you how not much fun he was having with Hugh Freeze as head coach. But I think that was important for them to keep him on as DC. Absolutely.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, but I just didn't know. And then as you know, at Auburn, that I've over the century. It's two different kinds of people. It's the new money and the old money. If they would just get together instead of fighting each other, it would be a whole lot better.
Yeah, it really would. And this is a program that hasn't had a winning season since 2020. I mean, so there's no doubt they're hungry, and getting on the same page and having just alignment. That's a big word. I try to stay away from those multi-syllable words.
We don't know what they mean anyway, so it's okay.
But alignment is very important here, and getting everybody on the same page. And I mean, they were one big happy family at his press conference. And we'll see how that goes 4 or 5 games into the season.
Yeah, I think a lot of people freaked out when they lost Coleman, a couple of the other, stars on offense. But defensively, they should be fantastic. They brought the quarterback over from South Florida, who was really good. I think they raised the floor a little bit. I don't expect them to contend for a national championship, but when you're turning a program around, you got to take steps. And I think they're making the right steps. And I think Auburn fans should feel pretty good about this team coming into the year. What's your thoughts on the team coming into the year? What's your expectations for this team and this coaching staff in their first year?
Well, I totally agree. I mean, I think Byron Brown is a really good quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he came to Tuscaloosa, and they played Alabama to a 14-13 game through 3 quarters.
Yeah.
And then South Florida kind of pulled away from him. But I like the fact that, the whole wide receiver room came with him, which kind of lets you know, how they feel about him. If he was a big jerk, they would have said, yeah, go to Auburn. We're not going to follow you anywhere. But they followed him. And then, as I mentioned, they lost, all their offensive linemen. Some of those offensive linemen probably need to go anyway.
Yeah.
But they've kind of restocked that. So that'll be the key. And that's always going to be the key, with pretty much any college football program. But especially Auburn. Auburn has really struggled at the line of scrimmage. Getting quality offensive line play. Defensive line play, they've gotten. But the offensive line, if they can find 5 guys that can protect the quarterback and get that offense moving in the right direction, then that's going to be a big key to get them back in the bowl game business and competing for a championship.
Well, that's going to be really good because how quickly the War Eagle people get frustrated. I know when Malzahn lost to Tennessee, didn't kick that field goal. It was right during the hurricane down here, and I was actually in Auburn, sitting in a big supporters condo, and they came in and start writing checks. Here's my check to get rid of them. Here's my check. So I said, I'm not in this game, guys. Don't put me in there.
Yeah, right.
So anyway, but yeah, I know when I drive my car through Abbeville, it slows down and has a little buck to it. I don't know what happens with all that. So.
Yeah, but ironically, they just they haven't had Gus, the last guy to win, consistently there. So, the more and more these years go by, between the last winning season at Auburn, the more and more I think maybe some Auburn fans, maybe not all Auburn fans, kind of go, wow, Gus really wasn't all that bad.
Yeah. That's true. So, there's a lot of things that go on, and I tell you what, now the Auburn-Alabama game if nobody's ever been to that thing, is unbelievable. I've been to 2 of them. I've never been to the North one, but I've always been at the Auburn one, at Auburn at home. So those things they're magnificent. So, you've covered a lot of them, I'm sure.
Well, I always tell people that, people say, ask me, you ever covered a Super Bowl? I go, no, I've never covered a Super Bowl, but I've covered about, 4 more than a dozen, 15 Iron Bowls. And I just can't picture anything like better. First college football game I ever covered was the 1985 Iron Bowl at Legion Field when Van Tippett kicked the 52-yard field goal and Alabama won 25-23. So that's the first college football game I ever covered. So it couldn't have gotten, much better than that. Right. But then, all the national championship opportunities, that I've had, it's certainly been a job where the blessings, far exceed, the bad days.
Man, I tell you what, we appreciate all you do for us because it keeps us informed on what's going on up here.
Yes, sir.
When Coach Hale's not here, we don't hear any much of Alabama.
Yeah.
But
did you guys get any snow last weekend?
No. North of us did, like over north of the I-10, and Coach wanted to go see snow, so he could have just gone to Dothan and got plenty of snow.
Got it. Instead, he went to Tennessee.
Have you guys got any snow?
What now?
Have you guys got any snow? What's your weather like in Birmingham?
Well, at first they thought maybe we might get some ice / snow, but now I think that line has gone way north. I mean, even outside of Alabama. Yeah, I mean, I asked the weather guy, yesterday. I said, "Where do I have to go to get snow now?" Because you'll probably have to drive all the way to Louisville. I think I'll just wait.
Yeah. There's quite a few hills between there.
You'll just get the thunderstorms instead.
Good for Tennessee and Alabama, though.
Listen, if Coach Hale calls you, ask him how his big bite was. He got bit by a brown recluse spider on his trip, so his leg is all swollen. And
look at ESPN Facebook, and you'll see this. Oh, it looks awful. It looks painful.
Are you serious?
Yeah, we are.
When I was in high school, one of my classmates got bitten by one of those things, and he was in the hospital for a few days.
Yeah. So when they said he got bit, we thought maybe a bear or a mountain lion got him.
We didn't know if it was Julie or a bear.
I don't know. Whatever he did, I'm sure he deserved it.
Right. So, Kyle was asking to give out grades, and Kyle got all A's in high school. He got A shut up, A sit down, A be quiet.
That's a fact. That is a fact. C's make degrees, Coach. C's make degrees.
Yeah. So, we appreciate you, buddy, and thanks a lot, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right, y'all have a good weekend.
You too. Thanks, buddy. Well, he does a great job, doesn't he? Yeah. Fantastic. I'd like to be able to get him on the radio here all the time. So. Yeah. But anyway, you guys in TV, we don't get the big Birmingham stations. But, we'll talk to you guys. TK Vandy, tell us a little bit about what goes on there.
Yeah, so we're a general contractor, but we specialize in roofing. So for anybody that needs a new shingle roof or a new metal roof, you can give us a call. We can help you out. We'll even give you a 10% discount if you say that Coach Hale sent you. If you say Coach Hale sent you, we'll give you a 10% discount.
There you go.
You can give us a call, 850-866-9908.
Okay. We want to thank Beef O'Brady's and Pat Perno for doing the Auburn update for us, and also Stevenson Air Conditioning for the Alabama update. And we'll be right back here with Jason Kovalevsky and all the crew, and we'll talk a little bit about what's coming up with him, too. And we'll be right back. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, James Hale Show.
The new app from 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is designed specifically for sports fanatics like you. The sports content you demand is always on. Live stream our national and local sports talk anywhere you go. Reach us on all social media. You can also be a part of the show. Call and text into our studios. Plus, up-to-the-minute weather and traffic maps. The new app from 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida is available at the Apple Store and Google Play.
Are you living with chronic pain, anxiety, or sleepless nights? You don't have to just get by. You deserve to thrive. At Thrive Alternative Medicine on Panama City Beach Parkway, Dr. Laughlin and counselor Suzanne Clark provide a compassionate path to relief. From medical marijuana card certifications to professional mental health counseling, managing conditions like PTSD, chronic pain, and the complexities of cancer. Book online at thrivealternativemedicine.com. Thrivealternativemedicine.com. Find the relief you deserve.
If you're one of the millions of Americans behind on your taxes, if you're afraid to open your mail because IRS collection letters could be coming, Listen carefully. The IRS is cracking down, taking paychecks, freezing bank accounts, revoking passports. That's a fact. But here's what most people don't know. There are official tax relief programs designed to help struggling taxpayers. Programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief. Optima's award-winning team will fight to protect your paycheck, your passport, and your property. Their tax attorneys and licensed tax professionals will work tirelessly to get you the best deal possible with the IRS. Every day, penalties and interest keep piling up, so don't wait. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-783-8055. That's 800-783-8055. 800-783-8055.
Optima Tax Relief. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
The number one SEC call-in show is now twice as big. It's double the Paul Feinbaum Show. Weeknights starting at 6.
Okay, but also go faster.
Now back to the Coach James Hale Show inside the J. Michael Studio. 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
And we are back, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida, the Coach James Hale Show, minus Coach James Hale. So, got some events coming up over there. Jason, tell us a little bit about those.
Yeah, we sponsor the semi-pro football team around Panama City. The Panama City Panthers have a lot of good players out there. They're going to have their kickoff classic February 28th, I believe. Let me look at that again. Yep, February 28th at Gavlac Sports Complex.
Love it.
Out there, obviously, at Arnold. So that will be happening February 28th, 2026 at 6 p.m. at Gavlac. It's the kickoff classic for the Panama City Panthers. We're going to have these guys on. I mean, they're a semi-pro football team. It's an outlet for these guys that leave high school, maybe not go to college or have been in college and want to, just continue playing football. A lot of good athletes out there, some players that went to LSU. So if you're interested in playing, contact and they have a Facebook page, the Panama City Panthers. I mean, that's our really, really high-level.
How many games do they have scheduled for this season?
I think 8 to 12. I'd have to check with them. We should have them on the radio in the next 2 weeks and have their coaches on and talk a little bit more about it. But that kickoff classic is coming up at Arnold, and I want to give them a shout-out, get them some, if you're a sponsor, they're looking for sponsors. They can always use help. Equipment's expensive, traveling's expensive. Right. They go to Dothan, they go to Louisiana in some places. So they're traveling and playing kind of regional schedule. So if you're interested in being a sponsor, also reach out to the Panama City Panthers. They have a Facebook page, and we'll have them on, and they'll talk a little bit more about how you can become a sponsor as well. But they're a really good group of guys.
Who owns that? Does one particular person own it?
I think a couple of people do. I know 2 ladies that own it, and we're investing in it really well. I'll have to ask the coaches again. I talk with their, he used to play for them, but now he's taking a role more of an administrative to kind of help build the brand and build up. Because, first 2 years it's hard to get money, hard to get sponsors. So they're trying to build this up and make it something that's going to be sustained over time. But great group of guys, a lot of good athletes. It's exciting to watch. But they'll be at the Gavlac Sports Complex on February 28th for their kickoff classic.
Yeah, you talked about the Arnold soccer. They're playing, is it tonight or is it Saturday night?
They are playing, I think it's Saturday.
Saturday, okay, at the Abyss, right? So,
yes.
Okay, get out there and watch some great soccer. Hopefully this will be a game they'll do the 7 or 8-0 thing too, so hopefully they keep playing along. Also, if you were looking for a basketball game tonight and you want to go out to Gulf Coast and watch Bay and Rutherford, always a big game there.
They're playing at Gulf Coast?
They're playing at Gulf Coast, and it's Bay's home game, and they were nice enough to let us play at Gulf Coast because of the wrestling tournament, which kind of segues me into the Bay 50th year of Bay High Wrestling. It's going to be at the George Mulligan Wrestling Tournament, 8th year for that. And they start today, right after weigh-ins. Today it's 11 weigh-ins, and right after that they start wrestling all the way through the quarterfinals. And then Saturday, the weigh-ins at 7:30, and then probably about 8:30 or 9, they'll start wrestling, and it'll be all the way till they finish. And they have some great food out there in the concession stand. They have some. I had on the supplemented pullover hoodie yesterday. It's really fantastic, and I got on the T-shirt today. You can buy those there, and it's kind of a one-of-a-kind. The hoodie is because it's got the stars and stripes and everything on it for the 250th year of our country and also the 50th year of Bayhigh Wrestling. Started by George Mulligan in 1976, and he was the first coach there. And so congratulations to him. And then if you don't get enough wrestling on Friday and Saturday, Sunday morning at 9:30, they will start with the youth wrestling program. It's the I.O. Florida Wrestling.
Utes?
Utes, yeah.
Utes.
Hey, Coach, let me take that back. It's actually Tuesday.
Tuesday?
January 27th at 7 o'clock at the Abyss. They're going to be playing Lincoln for the district championship.
Okay, so they'll probably go like Tuesday, Friday, and then after that, they'll probably go to the Final Four or whatever. Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, so interesting enough, we talked about it before. The way Coach Jonah set up his schedule on the weekend was to play back-to-back games to set him up for the quarterfinals.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Because they have to play back-to-back weekends. Matter of fact, the Final Four is on a Friday, I believe. Forgive me if I'm wrong, but the next day is the final.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So there's no recovery, which is kind of crazy to me because even the USA Soccer tells you that you need a 72-hour a 72-hour recovery time.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's USA Soccer telling you this, but the FHSAA wants to. You know what? Let's go ahead and get them on Friday and Saturday and knock it out and make all this money. You know.
Yeah.
I would think you'd at least need 2 days.
Just stagger it.
I would,
1A, 3A, 5A, 7A, whatever it goes up to on Friday, then play the next Saturday, then those play on the final.
Yeah, exactly.
Sunday.
That's brilliant.
That's what every other sport does, so I'm not sure what they're doing.
I mean, they're doing it all. It's all down there at one time, and it's all for that weekend, and they're playing on different fields.
Wow.
You know, so
they must have just...
I mean, they're turning and burning
out.
You know?
So, well, Jim, we've kind of left you out today for some reason.
That's all right.
Okay. I just want to make sure if you had something to say, you'll say it, I guess.
The one thing I want to talk about, bring up, it doesn't really relate to anything we've talked about so far, but, last week or maybe the week before, those allegations came out about the 29 players that were betting on college basketball.
Rigging games.
Yeah, rigging. What's your guys' take on that? I mean, how do you rein this kind of stuff in? I mean, I don't know.
I don't know if you can. I mean, we've seen it in multiple sports now.
Right.
We've seen it in NBA. Now we're seeing it in college basketball. Once they legalized gambling, we all knew this was going to be a problem. I mean, there's no way around it. That's kid, true. If you look at every sports app or TV show, what's at the bottom? The spread. The spread, the over, the under. You can bet on your phone at this point in time. I mean, you're always going to have shady characters, circling, the kids and trying to take an advantage. I mean, we were always warned about this, and everybody, I can do what I want. I want to be able to bet, da-da-da-da-da-da. But now we're seeing the negative side of it, and I think it's more extensive than people realize. And if they really shone the light on it, I think you would see some ugly, ugly stuff.
Yeah, and they just happen to catch one, and that leads to another, and that leads to another.
Right.
First of all, your conscience. Well, I guess you don't have a conscience if you do that.
Right.
I mean, if you're playing for a team, what are you doing to those other guys that are involved in this? It's not the Chicago Black Sox, as they call them. Yeah. So
what I don't understand is that when we saw some of the professional athletes getting busted, these guys make millions of dollars.
You're reading my mind.
And they got paid like $12,000 to throw these games.
Yeah. Let me give you an example, because you're talking about the Cleveland Guardians.
Yeah. The relief pitcher that was dominant.
Yeah. Emmanuel Clase is the best relief pitcher in baseball.
Yeah.
He has been for like 5 years. Not this season, but last season, 2024, his ERA going into the playoffs was like 0.4.
Right.
He had given up like one home run in 70-something games. He was virtually unhittable. Okay? He does really well. They get to play the Yankees, and that determines whether or not they're going to the World Series to play the Dodgers, as it turned out. Clase A gets hit up like it's me pitching.
Right.
I mean, he can't get anybody out. And I thought, at the time, I'm thinking, maybe everybody's got their
bad game.
Yankees are pretty good.
It happens, Fast forward to this year, about halfway through, he gets dinged for gambling, for throwing prop bets. Is this first pitch going to be a fastball? Is it going to be a slider? Is it going to be this? And another guy, too. And like you say, he was making, I don't know the exact figure, but it was in the millions of dollars.
Right.
And he's getting $10,000 for this.
Yeah.
That's chump change to them. And then on top of all that, his defense was, I couldn't believe, I didn't read it, I wouldn't have believed it. His defense was, his text to whoever, to Jason Kovaleski on the other end, it wasn't about gambling, it was about cockfighting in the Dominican Republic. That's what it was about. Oh, so that makes it better?
Right.
It's like you said, how do you do this?
And even the NBA, and the thing that struck me with that is they were rigging card games with the mafia.
Yeah,
and I'm sitting there thinking, I'm sitting there thinking,
you kidding?
That's not the only thing they're going to be rigging. The mafia says, "Oh, let's rig a card game." You're a head coach in a basketball league that we could also bet on, buddy.
Yeah,
and
next thing you're swooped up in trafficking and everything else.
Once you get involved with those type of people, you're never going. They'll get their hooks into you, and you'll never get away.
Yeah,
the CIA.
You were saying, these guys make millions of dollars. Why would they possibly bet?
I agree.
Risk everything on for a $10,000 bet. You're forgetting that gambling can be an addiction.
Oh yeah, 100%.
No question.
Once you
And
do
not
it,
only
you get
that,
caught
the
up in
mafia
that.
can be like, "Hey, I'm going to kill your kid if you don't do this." You know what I'm saying? There's not just the monetary threat of why some of these guys do that. I mean, when you're dealing with the mafia, they're not good people, and they could probably do bad things to you or your family.
Give your phone number out because I don't want to be.
Here, start my card.
All right, we got to go to a break. We want to thank Steve's Bike Shop. We want to thank Turf Pro Pest Control with TK Vandy, also Jason Kovaleski at Max Fit Sports Nutrition, and Stevenson Air Conditioning, and Beef O'Brady's, and Steve's Bike Shop. Yep. We'll be right back. Last segment, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. It's the Rich Eisen Show.
We can't seem to put these things together, so let's get a totally different new voice, a totally different new situation. Or do you go back to the guy who was previously in Allen's ear, in Brian Daboll? Or is it a tough sell to the Buffalo fan base that we're going to take, a guy who was coach of the year one year, but the rest of the time couldn't get the Giants out of the cellar. Forget about the Super Bowl.
The Rich Eisen Show. Weekdays 11 to 2. ESPN Northwest Florida.
This is Joanna with ESPN Northwest Florida with your Friday's weather. This afternoon and evening there will be a light breeze out of the north-northwest, some clouds, and 68. Mostly clouds tonight, a little colder at 56. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy throughout the day with a low chance of rain showers in the evening and a high of 67. About the same at 70 Sunday, and we'll have possible thunderstorms and light showers. This forecast is sponsored by Mid-South Lumber, the best little lumber yard in Panama City. Thank you for tuning into ESPN Northwest Florida. Rely on it.
We're proud to bring you the most popular cars in the world, like the stylish Camry and the sporty Corolla. Get award-winning style and 2.99% APR on a new Camry. Named the best new model by Kelly Blue Book. Plus, you get 90 days until you make your first payment. Curb appeal comes standard on the new Corolla. Designed to wow from the inside out. Get 2.99% APR plus 90 days until your first payment. Panama City Toyota, your Camry and Corolla headquarters.
Offer ends February 2nd. Visit PanamaCityToyota.com for details.
Are you living with chronic pain, anxiety, or sleepless nights? You don't have to just get by. You deserve to thrive. At Thrive Alternative Medicine on Panama City Beach Parkway, Dr. Laughlin and counselor Suzanne Clark provide a compassionate path to relief. From medical marijuana card certifications to professional mental health counseling, managing conditions like PTSD, chronic pain, and the complexities of cancer. Book online at thrivealternativemedicine.com. Thrivealternativemedicine.com. Find the relief you deserve.
You don't know what his problem is. But it's probably hard to pronounce and untreatable.
I don't feel so good.
The Coach James Hale Show is live and local from the J. Michael Studio. ESPN Northwest Florida.
And we are back, 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida. Coach James Hale Show. Hopefully he'll be back Monday.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. So, get better, Coach, get better. So it won't affect his voice, so hopefully he'll be back.
I don't know what he did to deserve that bite, but he did something.
He did.
You know?
He did. I think maybe Julie whacked him with a 5-iron on the shin.
Those Wildlife Omaha updates came back
She
to bite
picked it
him.
up and placed it on
To
him.
bite him, get it?
Yep.
So, and I know it's a little late, but we want to congratulate her for being in the Arnold Marlin Sports Hall of Fame.
Yep.
Too, also.
Last weekend.
And she didn't leave him out like he left her out.
I know. That's right.
She didn't have to be reminded, did she?
No.
So, yeah, first women's AD here in Panama City, and did it for a long time. So she did a great job, too. And she was a computer expert, so I'm sure she took care of James's computer work. So,
That's why he sits over there and blames her all the time.
I know, he goes,
Whenever he screws his computer up, he blames Julie.
And also, too, speaking of Arnold, Jana Solaris
is back,
but she was also given administrator of a lifetime. No.
Yeah, I think something like that.
Yeah, I think administrator of a lifetime by Bay County. So that's a cool award.
Absolutely. She started the school, and then and then she was kind of like the fill-in administrator.
Yep.
And when I was at Bozeman, she got me too because I was the American history teacher, the advanced class teacher was ill and couldn't come in there. She goes, "Well, Coach Manley's got a history degree, so dingo." So I was like, I was sitting there comfortable in PE, and
man,
people have no idea.
I mean, I enjoyed the class; it was fantastic. Those kids were really good, but so and it's just you just never know when you're going to have to change roles and everything. So I had to start wearing long pants instead of shorts to the class. Anyway, but it's a lot of fun. I enjoyed that. And if you go to Bozeman, too, all our schools are great. But you go to Bozeman, it's K through 12. And it's all the little kids know who you are. They know the football players, everybody. So when you go, Coach, how you doing? So, it's really neat. So, But
speaking of Bozeman, with Coach Pettis and Coach Trey Pettis, KP, with them going out there, they've kind of redesigned the Bozeman logo with the D and the B. And they've got a new slogan, Built by Bozeman. So they're doing a little culture building up there.
Well, I noticed their uniforms kind of like Auburn, if you know.
Yeah, they were.
But Coach Pettis, by the way, is a veteran too. He was a paratrooper and all that good stuff. So, and I knew him.
He is such a great guy.
He is. I knew him when he first started out. He was with Coach Maddox and everything. So
that kind of reminds me of St. Joe, how their culture is, how those kids grow up wanting to play for Bozeman. Because when you get K through 12 and those young kids play with each other for years and years and years, it's a lot different than if you just meet somebody in high school and try to build a team. The culture's just much different out there.
And, the thing too is the high school football players on Fridays would go read to the elementary school kids, all stuff like that. So
I think they still do that.
Yeah.
I think they still do that.
It's fantastic. So they, it's, I'm sure a lot of the other schools do some things like that too. But
and it's really great with them because if they can keep those kids farmed up through, Bozeman and. I think it was 3 years ago they took a Final Four run. Right. I think they were 12-1 or something.
Coach Griff. Yeah,
with Coach Griff, and now I think I think Bozeman's going to be the team to watch next year for Class 2. District 2.
Yeah. So that'd be good. Yeah. Kevin's always won wherever he's been and done a great job.
Absolutely.
And you can't say enough about him for that. And so, all the coaches here, come along and done great things. And so we can't. Football is really good around here, and basketball is really starting to be really good. Baseball always been, good. So,
soccer.
And they just hired their new. Speaking of new coaches, like Coach Lowe at Port St. Joe, Bozeman actually hired Austin Latch. That's his first year out there. And, the Latches, they're a long-time family of coaches.
They went over and Bozeman went over and played his dad in Orange Beach over there. Did
they win?
I didn't see that score, so we'll have to get a hold of it. I don't know.
Uno momento, por favor, Coach.
That's right. So, but, a lot of great schools out here. Please support your school because they need the money. It just takes a lot of money to run any program, whether it's track, whether it's cross country, and golf. I like coaching golf because I had to go early to set up the course, and everything. I get out of school early and make sure it was lined off correctly. All right, we got a phone call. Hello, who is this?
This is Nate.
Hey, Nate.
Yeah, hey, man, I'm a bus driver for Bozeman.
Uh-huh.
You guys got me all excited about football. I got myself a young player that's going to be coming up, and he's going to be real good. So,
what's his name?
Is it your son?
No, he just rides my bus. He's a good kid. And
okay.
He's working real hard.
What's his name? Let's give him a shout-out.
What's his name?
Hale Green.
All right, give him a shout-out for him then, and he goes to Bozeman, right?
Correct.
What year is he in, and what position does he play?
Well, he's an 8th grader. He plays on the line both ways, I think, right now.
Okay. All right. So, just tell him to get in that weight room and work out hard and do what the coach tells him.
Yeah, I'm pumping him up because I used to be a lineman myself, so I know how it is.
Were you?
Are you talking about taking ballerina classes to work on his footwork?
There you go, or run with the track coach to get you faster. Ballerina.
Get him in wrestling. That's the best thing for a lineman.
Well, if he's going to be on the offensive line, he's going to be under Coach Trey Pettis, and he played offensive line at Florida State.
Yeah.
So, and he's got a little camp that he does too. It's called Offensive Line University, and he's a really good offensive line coach. He's got a pretty good mind for that.
You said you played. Where did you play?
I'm from the Pacific Northwest.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You played in the rain.
I'm a transplant.
Transplant.
But I got something real quick I can tell you. I played in the Senior Bowl in Washington State, and I got the block for Drew Bledsoe.
Oh, wow.
Oh, heck yeah, man.
So like we say, how's the weather out there?
Well, it's pretty cold up there right now. My mom's freezing her tickets off.
Well, we're glad you listened to us. We appreciate you listening.
Yeah, thanks, brother.
I'm a Floridian now, so I gotta adapt or overcome. So,
So that sounds like a Marine Corps.
well, hoorah, devil dog.
Well, make sure you click the like on ESPN Radio's Facebook page, and then go over to Local Sports Podcast Facebook page because we cover a lot of the high school sports as well.
Yes, absolutely. I appreciate you guys. You have a great day.
All right, thanks for calling. We appreciate it.
By the way, do y'all want to know the score for the Orange Beach Bozeman game?
Yeah.
The Latches versus the Latches. Orange Beach won 46-25.
Okay. All right.
So it looks like they played some really good defense. It was a low-scoring game.
Yeah. So Dad didn't take any mercy on his son.
No, not even a little bit.
Well, okay. Sunday you can listen to the Patriots play the Broncos at 2:30. And then at 5:30, Seahawks and Rams is right here on 104.3 ESPN Northwest Florida.
Working
What's your pick, Coach, before we get out of here? Talk to me, Goose.
Oh, I'm going with the Broncos.
Okay.
And the Seahawks.
Well, so the Broncos lost Bo Nix, but they signed
Stidham.
Mm-hmm.
Jared Stidham.
Is that who they signed?
Yeah.
They did.
Well, he was on the team, so he's going to be the quarterback.
Oh, no, I thought they signed Phillip Rivers or something.
No.
Was that like a thing? Was that like a sham?
No, he played for somebody. He played for somebody else. He did play this year.
Colts.
I thought they just signed him.
Yeah.
I like New England just because Nix is out. I mean, I think they're playing really well, especially on defense. The run game's really well, and then the Seahawks at home, man, that's going to be tough to beat. So I think it's going to be a Patriots-Seahawks Super Bowl.
Well,
I agree with that one.
The thing about it is, I know that the cold won't affect the Patriots, but it's going to be a home game for the Broncos, so we'll see how that goes.
That elevation is a problem for some teams. I mean, when you get up there in that elevation and playing, it's a different level of cardio that you got to have. But losing your starting quarterback this late in the season, that's tough to overcome.
That's bad.
It is. Okay, so what finger was that? Golly. I thought I did a good job. Next thing I
out of here.
Wildcat. Wow. I had to get him sooner or later.
I appreciate the intro, by the way.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. A bone crusher wouldn't help me at all. So,
I think the Pats are going to win it all.
You?
Yeah, I think Drake May and the team are just clicking. I think this will be the least watched Super Bowl in the last 10 years.
Well, the last thing I remember about the Seahawks is that they had the ball playing the Pats. They had the ball on the 1 yard line. Yeah, and they got the big running back.
Right.
I would have run that guy 4 times. What do we do? We throw the sinking pass for the intercept
on the 1 yard line.
On the 1 yard line.
Yeah, I agree. That was crazy.
So
I think they were trying to get Russell Wilson the MVP instead of just letting Marshawn Lynch run it in.
Well, shoot, I would have. Yeah, well, let's look. Okay,
to me, that was the most egregious play call in maybe
ever
Super Bowl history.
Yeah, that was
just
bad.
a dumb call.
I know it.
And they deserve to lose because of it.
You know, another thing that bothers me when I'm watching the sports now, the high school, the colleges, they're on the 1 yard line and they're 5 yards deep catching the snap.
Yeah.
And they hand it off and they go, boy, they got penetration on that one. I go, well,
I want to see a stat one day of the success rate of the tush push and the quarterback sneak, because to me it's unstoppable if you do it correctly.
Yeah, 100%.
From the 1 yard in.
All right, we got to go. Thank you guys for coming
thanks,
in.
guys.
We appreciate
Bye,
you.
everybody.
All right, we're out.
ESPN Northwest Florida. The Magic Play